Idaho Matters podcast is brought to you by St. Luke's On-Demand Virtual Care, which allows patients to see a provider from their home using a computer or smartphone with on-demand care for common ailments such as a cough, sore throat, or a sinus issue. More information at stlukesonline.org. From the studios of Boise State Public Radio News, I'm Gemma Gadet. This is Idaho Matters. The Nez Perce County Courthouse is getting a new home, and it's bringing a piece of history with it, a distinctive wooden bench dating back to the early 1900s. Originally used in Idaho Supreme Court proceedings in Lewiston, the bench became a silent witness to Idaho's early judiciary, and it is now a symbol of North Idaho's legal legacy. We're joined today by Administrative District Judge Mark Munson to talk about the relocation and the rich history etched into that wooden bench. Judge, it's really nice to have you on the program.
Thank you.
So take us back to the origins of this bench. I mean, how did the Idaho Supreme Court end up in need of a bench in Lewiston?
So as I understand the history, back in the early 1900s, the legislature found some money, and the Nez Perce County residents wanted a building for the Supreme Court to come and hear cases in. And so in 1904, they finished the building. It was housed the courtroom for the Supreme Court as well as a law library. And the Supreme Court would come up twice a year to hear cases there. And at the time that building was constructed and finished in 1904, the bench was custom built to go along with it. And that's where it remained until I think 1954, when the building was eventually sold to a church, and the bench was sent over to our most recent courthouse that just closed about a month ago. And that's where it remained up until mid part of June, when we moved it over here to our new courthouse.
So once it was in the old courthouse, what role did the bench play practically, but also symbolically?
I think practically, the Supreme Court has been hearing cases here in Lewiston on that bench since 1904. So they've been here at least once a year for the past 120 years or so. I can tell you that up until it moved to our new courthouse a month ago, that was our primary courtroom. The district judges heard cases there. And so it's really been a witness to, I think, much of the legal history in the city of Lewiston for the past 124 years or so. I suspect it's probably got some stories it could tell.
Well, I was just going to ask you that. So, I mean, if that bench could talk, what do you think are some memorable stories, or maybe even some legislative moments that the bench, witnessed? And I'm, saying that in quotes.
I can't speak to the legislative moments, but I can tell you I've been practicing here since 2000. I've been sitting on the bench here for the past 3.5 years. I've heard hundreds of cases at that bench. And again, I'm just one judge. I've got a number of predecessors who were on the bench for years and years as well. It's always impressed me, though. I just think in terms of people's problems, people's hopes, people looking for resolution to challenges. I think it's got a rich history. I think it's a tangible link to the history that continues to this day. I think what I think is impressive about this bench as well is, it's been relocated. This is now the second time it's been relocated. It's going to continue to serve the people of the state of Idaho, in particular, the Nez Perce County residents for years to come. So I think it's pretty amazing that we've been able to incorporate that. I appreciate the county finding funds to help us refurbish it and put it back into the new courtroom. It's going to be amazing.
Why do you think the bench has become such a powerful symbol of the history of Idaho's legal system?
That's a great question. I think when I think about the lawyers who have passed before, I think about the judges that have passed before. We have a rich legacy here in this area of good, solid lawyers and jurists I think the state of Idaho has been well served. I think knowing the current, I guess, occupants of this courthouse as well as many of the prior occupants, what I can tell you about these people is they truly cared. They took their job seriously. They took their job seriously to the point where they wanted to go where the law and the facts led them. And I think that speaks highly of kind of our system of justice here in the state and also in the nation, that it would serve well in that function.
What has the reaction been from fellow lawyers, judges, and really the community over the efforts to relocate and preserve the bench?
Well, I can speak on behalf of the judges. We're thrilled. I can tell you when we had our final hearing in the courtroom last month, the courtroom was full with current judges, well, current lawyers, most of the judges. And I think I speak on everybody's behalf when I say we're excited to be able to use this. I know that the Supreme Court, Chief Justice Bevin has indicated that he's looking forward to coming and sitting in the bench when they come back up. I want to say it'll be April of this next year when they come to hear cases again. So I think on behalf of everybody, we're really happy that this has come and it's been incorporated into the new courthouse. You know, it would have been really easy just to put a new bench in and just to put this one on the shelf and let it go. But I think the fact that again, our county cared enough to make the move, cared enough to have it restored, speaks really to the level of dedication they have to preserving this legal legacy that Nez Perce County has.
My understanding is that you actually presided over a hearing about the bench, and
We
you
did,
emphasize.
yes.
Okay, so talk to me about this because you emphasize that it really does honor the legacy of past Idahoans and Idaho's legal heritage. So, can you elaborate a little bit more on what the legacy means? You know, for current times, for a modern courthouse, for a modern courtroom.
You bet. So the hearing was, we had that back in June, and it was the petition was filed in order to move the bench from the old courthouse to the current courthouse. And again, like I said, it was well attended. And, you know, as I reviewed some of the history of the bench, you know, they talk about back in 1907, at the time that there was an article written in 1907, they talked about when the building opened in Pioneer Park in 1904 with this bench. There were some 40 attorneys throughout the area. We've got a lot more attorneys throughout the area now. And I suspect probably every attorney who's practiced in Nez Perce County has had a case or two in front of this bench, myself included. And it's really, I think, impressive as well when the Supreme Court comes and they sit and they hear cases so the local public can come and see really what is this court system all about. So we thought it was important to have kind of that final hearing to where we could symbolically move it over to the new courthouse to start hearing cases on it. And again, I think it was well received. And as I indicated, I think we're all looking forward to utilizing this bench well into the future.
So, why is it important do you think, to make efforts like you did and the community did to preserve pieces of Idaho history?
I think it's important because I think this bench is really kind of a living monument to the rule of law here in the state of Idaho, as well as the county of Nez Perce. And I think rather than being placed on display or being placed in storage someplace, the bench continues to be really a working part of the judiciary. I think its ongoing presence honors those who come before. I'm hopeful that when some of our newer lawyers appear in front of it, they realize kind of the history of this room and history of the bench. And I hope that informs them on how to practice. And I hope that they would do so in a way that continues to honor the legacy. Really, I think all of the fine attorneys that have come before. I can tell you, having been in the area in practice for the last 25 years and on the bench, we do have, I think, some of the finest lawyers and jurists here in the state of Idaho. So I think that's important.
So, before we go, can you talk to us a little bit about looking forward, in particular, this new home for the bench, this brand new courthouse. I mean, that's got to be pretty exciting to be in a brand new state of the art space.
Oh, it's amazing. I really do think we have the finest courthouse in the state of Idaho right now. Now, right now, the bench is undergoing some refurbishing. They're putting the finishing touches on our new courtroom one, which will be the Supreme Courtroom. We expect that it's going to be ready to go probably sometime next month. We're anticipating hearing cases in that courtroom here in the coming month of August, and it's going to be amazing. When I walk through the courthouse, the new courthouse now, and I look at just how nice it is, I think it really does honor to the history of the bench. And I think this new courtroom that they're putting together is going to continue to honor the bench and those who came before and those who presided at the bench and those who have heard cases before the bench. It's going to be really something else. So we'd invite anybody who wants to come and take a look to please come and come to our facility. Come here, come watch cases be heard. We're always open to the public. We'd love to have anybody come and look around.
Well, I want to thank you so much for taking time to speak with us today about this. We've been talking with Administrative District Judge Mark Munson about the relocation and preservation efforts of an historic bench in Nez Perce County, which is now or will soon be inside the new courthouse there in Lewiston. And that'll do it for this episode of Idaho Matters. Thanks so much for listening. And just a reminder, you can find all of our episodes wherever you get your podcasts.
These days, there's so much news, it can be hard to keep up with what it all means for you, your family, and your community. The Consider This podcast from NPR features our award-winning journalism. 6 days a week, we bring you a deep dive on a news story and provide the context and analysis that helps you make sense of the news. We get behind the headlines. We get to the truth. Listen to the Consider This podcast from NPR.